And if you're looking for a game that is really easy to learn but then has a lot of fun decisions, I think this is definitely one that you'll want to check out, because this one has area control, tile placement, and deck building. Each player starts with the same 4 cards at the start of the game, and you're going to be using these cards to take advantage of different abilities or special bonus actions that you'll be able to apply in order to augment your turn. Players will be able to draft more of these from a shared supply into their deck throughout the game, but like I said, this is also a tile placement game, and in order to gain new tiles, they'll also be drafting those from a shared supply, and the whole concept here is that each player is going to be building up their own garden throughout the game. You're going to be placing both flower tiles as well as path tiles in order to help you score more victory points. And the way that this game works is that each player is going to be alternating taking a turn, and when it is their turn, they get to decide the action that they're going to be taking. There's a few different actions that you can choose from, and I'll get back to those in a second here, but the important thing to note here is that whichever action that you choose, every player gets to also take that action after you. But the nice thing for you is that as the lead player, you also get to play a card either before or after the action when you take it, so that does give you a slight advantage. And the different actions available to you are to draft a new card into your deck, or to play an additional card on your turn. And like I said, this is a deck building game, so whenever you play a card, it's going to be going into your discard pile, and you do have an action in order to recycle that and turn your discard pile back into your draw pile. And in order to build out your garden, there is an action for that in order to draft garden tiles, and these are going to come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and these are double-sided with either flowers on one side or a path on the other. And if you're placing the flowers side up, then you can place it anywhere you want on your board, but if it's a path, it has to start on the edge of your board, and then any path that you place after that has to connect to an existing path. The difference between these tiles is that only the flowers are going to be gaining you victory points, but the only way to unlock their victory points is to have them touching an adjacent path. And the final action you can perform is to gain influence in one of the different areas out on the main board by placing some of your influence cubes there. This is a really interesting aspect of the game because of the way it scores. Players are going to be placing their cubes into these different areas, but then the player that has the most cubes there is going to be gaining points equal to the total number of cubes in that area. So that means not only are you going to be gaining points for your cubes, but you're also going to be gaining them for any of your opponents. If you're second place, you're going to be getting points equal to the number of cubes that you contributed, but if you don't come first or second, you're not going to be getting any points from that area, so you don't really want to be contributing cubes to that area. But whichever player is able to get 10 cubes first into any of these areas is going to be gaining the special fairy token, which they'll be able to put onto their garden, which is going to give them some special bonuses. At the end of the game, the player with the most total victory points wins the game, and if you're interested in this one, you can check it out. I have links in the description below.